This is probably my this is probably my favorite shot from the, or it's one of my favorites from this grouping of clips of shots, and uh, and the caption is scene 139. Harry and Hermione discuss Dumbledore and Grindelwald. Harry finds out his wand is broken in the Forest of Dean. They mean his wand is broken. His wand is broken. It's not. It doesn't get broken in the Forest of Dean. I don't think that's a very good sentence, but yeah, his wand gets broken at Godric's Hollow. But this must be in the Forest of Dean. Yeah, and this is the shot is the evening before the Silver Doe scene. Harry's wearing the gray sweater jumper that he wears in the Silver Doe scene, and they're discussing Dumbledore and Grindelwald. Hermione has the book, The Life and Lives of Albus Dumbledore. And I'll also notice that she's wearing the locket Horcrux, and I think she is about to give her wand to Harry for the night. He's going to take over the watch for them. Yeah, and I think the reason I really like this shot is because I really want to know what they're talking about. You know, it just seems like a really interesting shot. There's a lot going on there, and you know the Silver Doe scene is next, so that even more makes me want to know what they're talking about here. But yeah, this is a great shot. Okay, and the next shot, I'm going to talk about the last two shots in tandem because they're both from the same scene. This shot is of Harry. This is at the Lovegoods. I think it's at the Lovegoods because, well, let me read the scene caption. This is scene 153. Harry dodges, wand hits in the Lovegoods house. And let me just bring up the next shot too. Is Xenophilius on the porch, or on his stairs outside of his house. And the caption is, this is scene 154, so it's directly after that. It just says Xenophilius Lovegood exits his house. And back to the previous shot, we have Harry on the floor. And the reason I think it's the Lovegood's house, well, not only because of the scene numbers, but because the wall is sort of curved, and the coloring with the pictures on the wall is consistent with what we have seen of the Lovegood's house. And also there's pock marks in the back of the shots, and there's also pock marks in the shot of Xenophilius outside on the wall, and there's also an explosion to the right. Yeah, and I really like the dirigible plant there on the left as a book thing. Yeah, and back to the shot of Harry again. Yeah, the curved wall. I think the house will be shaped like a rook, like it is in the book, like a castle, and that seems to be, since it's curved and it's made out of stone, which is what we know about it. Harry's reaching towards something, not really sure what. He could be reaching towards his wand because he's dropped it, or Hermione, because in the book the house sort of collapses because of that. But there isn't really a lot of stuff around them. Like, there's been an explosion, a lot of debris around them. So I'm not sure. I think this might be before the explosion, but we can't really be sure of that. About this shot, one of the reasons this is probably the shot I like the second best, and I like it because I think this is finally enough for me to say I've had this long-standing theory that the scenes at the Lovegoods and the scene at the Lovegoods, the capture scene, the Snatcher chase, the capture scene, and then Malfoy Manor and the Shell Cottage scenes, meaning on the beach, Dobby's burial, and the Harry talks to Griphook and Ollivander, are all on the same day, meaning that there's no time cut between, because in the book there's a time cut of a few weeks, a month, in between the Lovegood scene and the capture scene. There's no snatcher chase in the book. That's the added scene that they always talk about. But there's a time cut of a few weeks in there, and I'd have thought for a long time that there would not be a time cut. And in this shot, Harry is wearing the blue collared shirt with the white, the threading, the needlework, the white needlework around the collar and everything, and that's what he's wearing in all of those scenes. In Malfoy Manor capture scene, or the Snatcher Chase, capture, Malfoy Manor, Shell Cottage scenes, he's wearing this blue shirt with his coat. He wears the coat in a lot of scenes because I think it's the only coat he has, but the blue shirt, I think that is enough for me to prove that those scenes are all connected. One thing I think that this also means is because we know that we have seen pictures or there's been evidence that Harry still gets stung in the film, and so it doesn't quite make sense if the Snatchers, the Death Eaters, come here, and if it's like in the book where Xenophilius sends an owl to the bad side and turns them in, it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't know that it was Harry, and so why would Harry then get stung? So what I think, and because the scenes are connected now, or if they are connected, this is of course my long-standing theory, so it is still a theory, even though this is enough for me to say this is what's going to happen. But I really think that they should keep they're going to keep the taboo word in the film, because I don't think it quite makes sense how they could find the trio at the cafe and then find them in the forest and then find them here at Xenophilius's house if they don't keep the taboo word in. So what I think is going to happen is that Harry, the trio, are going to learn about the Deathly Hallows from Xenophilius here at his house, and then they're going to discuss them here. I don't know if he'll be in the room for that discussion or if he'll leave the room, but they'll discuss the Hallows here, and Harry will make that intuitive leap that he makes in the book, where he realizes that he has two of the Hallows. He has the stone and he has the cloak, and that Voldemort, he finally realizes what Voldemort's been looking for. He's been looking for the third Hallow, the wand, and he'll make that leap here, and so, and then sometime in that intuitive leap, like in the book, he will say Voldemort's name, which is the taboo word, and then the Death Eaters will come to the Lovegood house, and then the trio will run from the house, and that's where the Snatcher Chase scene is, and sometime during that scene they'll get far enough away that Harry will get stung. Either that or Harry, maybe he'll get stung. It's some way Harry's going to get stung. There's been 3 different reports of Harry being stung, as well as that picture with him that we know is from Malfoy Manor, with him covering. He's with a reporter and he has to cover his face with a book because they don't want to show his makeup on camera, and so yeah, I really think that he is still going to get stung in the movie. So I think that they would have to use the taboo word here instead of having Xenophilius turn them in. And so then they would come to the Lovegood's house and not know who's there. They just know that someone said the taboo word. And so then they'll chase them. Harry will get stung at some point during the chase before the capture. And so then they won't know at first who they have, which is what it said in some of the... That's what the director said in one of that the Snatchers catch them, but they don't know quite who they have yet. And I think that makes everything work. That makes sense, and that I know that takes out that time cut of a few weeks where Harry he goes back and forth in his mind, Hallows or Horcruxes, or he's like obsessing over the Hallows instead of worrying about the Horcruxes, which is what he needs to be. But I've never really thought that was that important. It's more the decision that's important than the obsession for me. And so, but I think this is enough to say that those scenes are all together and that there's not a time cut. Because the reason people are suggesting there could still be a time cut and he's just wearing this shirt again. I think that's very unlikely that if there was a time cut of a couple weeks, that they would have him be wearing the same shirt again in both scenes. That doesn't make sense to me. That if he's wearing the same shirt in both scenes, that it's because they're the same day. Yeah. So this is enough for me to say they're all the same day. Yeah. And so that's the last photo. Yeah, these were good photos. We had a lot of we learned a lot, and I was glad to finally get this confirmation for me that they were all the same day. Just to add, I was thinking as I was looking at the photos last night that it was possible Harry was reaching out towards the snitch that he had dropped, because if the Lovegood and the Snatcher chase and capture scenes are all connected, it's possible that when Harry makes the intuitive leap that he has the stone in the snitch, that he's holding the snitch in the scene at the Lovegood house. It could just as easily be his wand or Hermione's hand that he's reaching out towards, but it was just an idea that it could possibly be the snitch on the ground. Yeah, and that's all I have to say. Thanks for listening.